I want to talk a little bit about how we got together for our first year of doing vision boards.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So vision boards is something that is something I've been doing for a very long time. My wife and I and our friends and all those things. And I was one of those guys that was like, I don't want to sit and do no vision boards. I want to cut out no magazines. Like I wasn't into it. And then once I started seeing, like, putting my vision down, really creating what I wanted my year to be like, or creating what I wanted my future to be like, and really seeing it and saying it out loud, and watching other people see it, and knowing what I want, it put a little bit more onus on me to go get it and go do it. Also, too, to see what's coming and see what's happening along your journey, right? Because sometimes you can miss it. So thinking about the fellas and thinking about what we all are in our life, and where we trying to go and the energy we provide to each other, I just thought it was so important for us to be able to do the same thing, is to be able to get together, create our visions together, talk about them, allow us to hold each other accountable to the things we say we want to do. Having men behind you that will hold you accountable is needed, no matter how old you are. And so, I just thought it was great. And then too, it's like the fellas can get together and we can do more things than just, talk about, things that they think fellas talk about, or what they think just the fellas do when they all get together. And so we had a beautiful, time doing that before the new year started. Was everybody come together? We did it to about 8 o'clock at night. It just kind of was like a flow, just a day. We didn't stop. We didn't sit down like we were in class. We just kind of did it around our life in that day. And so it was beautiful. That's what I got.
I was talking to her about, like, when men get together, when you got a good circle of men, you want to get together and inspire each other and then hold each other accountable. And I've been doing vision boards like 20 years, but it was different to be able to do it with guys that you're with, you respect, you're around, you share laughs. But when you share a vision, the vision can be manifested, and now you can actually have other people that may have access to resources. They may have access to people that can look at your vision and say, hey, I can help you get on the right track with this part of your vision. And that's what I felt. I felt really inspired to see everybody's vision to be different, but to also for them to actually give thought process to plan out what it would look like. And one of the things that you and I did, and I thought it was dope, D, was we started on about 20 pieces of paper. And our goal is throughout the year to let it flow and grow. Like when you plant a seed, the vision board is just a seed.
Yeah,
And that's all it is. And so
you gotta water it. You gotta water that seed and watch it grow.
That's what I looked at. I was like, man, we got 20 pages that throughout the year, when you're growing and you're putting water on it, you can add more things to that vision board. So the vision board is a continuation of what you're doing day to day. You can add and subtract from.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. No, man, it was one of the dopest moments that I've had as an adult man, to be around, other adult men in that space, and it's hard for you to be vulnerable. And when you're sitting there and you're going through and you're putting your visions, out there, it's vulnerability in that. And one of the great things we all did, and we all had separate moments where we had different people come around and we shared what those visions was. We kind of walked everybody through, why did we pick these pictures? Why did we pick these words? Why did we say these things? And I just think it's so great to be able to have a group of people that like you said, it's going to spark thoughts in my mind if I think like, oh, this is an opportunity that came to me. It's not for me, but you know what? This is something Chris said he wanted to do. So it lets me know what you want to do, what you're trying to create in this 2024 year and beyond. So when something comes to me as your brother, I'm already on it. I'm like, oh, this is what my brother want to do. And so now we off to the races on it, you know what I'm saying? Instead of guessing, I'm saying I don't know nobody who wants to do this. I do. And so, bro, it was good. It was to have 6 men, come together at different ages from 33 up until 60 years old. That's a range of, like, think about it. Dre's was at 60, one page, but his one page maximized the life that he wants to live at 60.
Wow.
Well, Kenny's 33. Kenny was going to 8 p.m. because he was doing so many things because he's 33. His life seems so much vast, so much bigger, and so much longer, right? And so it was cool to kind of see that we all at these different ages and the stages of our lives too, and see what our visions are.
Wow. And D, how did we set the tone? Like, before I got there, you guys had a great opportunity to go through like a sound bath and like have some meditation time.
We went through meditation time. Yeah. And so what we did is we took an hour before we started creating our visions. Is first of all, as I told the guys, is before everyone got together, we all are dealing with life. We all are dealing with the calls that we got when we woke up the morning. We're putting out fires here and there. We're being parents. We're being business. Whatever's going on in your life, you're dealing with it before we all come together. And so I wanted to bring somebody in that can clear our minds from all those things and put our minds in a space where we can visualize, we can open up. And so we did a hour session of meditation and questioning and stuff like that before, just to get us in the right mindset to be able to create our visions, right? We weren't coming in like, man, I ain't get no sleep, I ain't get this because I had to do this. We actually started our visions in a very clear mindset, very warm and welcoming mindset for our minds. So we warmed up our minds, we stretched. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't get without stretching.
You gotta run that back because a lot of people may miss that. Because you said you warmed up your mind, and that's today on the podcast. I'm gonna be talking about mental fitness. And you just said we warmed our mind up, we stretched. Like the brain is a muscle that is overlooked. We only look at the physical. We only look at the outside. But when you said that, I don't want to miss that. I don't want you guys to miss the opportunity of what that mental mindset that he just said, that mental fitness and flexibility, the ability to grow right there.
Yeah, I think when you get a certain age, like I'm 41, turning 42 this month, I'm at an age where, my whole life is I've always thought about the outer, right? I've always thought about how my muscles look or how my leg muscles looking like or what I'm dressing, what I'm putting on. And now I'm at an age now where I'm really focusing on how my inner looks, how my inner feels. Because if you get into this point in life, as you go to 40, 50, 60, if your inner is not as prestige as you try to keep your outer, then, it's not going to be a good life for you as you get older. And so really taking care of your inner and understanding what that means. And so when you think about the meditation part of it, like we really had to take care of our minds, our souls, our hearts, our bodies, and all those things before we got into really creating what our vision is going to be. Like, it's not a one-day thing. That's why we said this is a whole 365 calendar kind of situation. But if we don't get out there and warm up, if we don't get out there and stress, if we don't get out there and see what the rims feel like, what the air feel like, is it cold in here tonight, how this ball bouncing, all the things you do as an athlete, if we didn't do that first, then we may not be able to go to the levels in our visions that we needed. So I just thought that was a good addition to, the men's vision, the Rose Boys visions.
Wow, that's good. D, that's good.